What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, just 12 days away from WrestleMania 40, and we have all the latest stories coming out of the weekend, starting with the final boss. The Rock is shutting down more BS reports regarding heat from both talent and TKO. These reports claiming TKO sent a memo to talent about not using profanity when promoting the product. And they're urging The Rock to lead by example. Further, the report claims talent is growing increasingly frustrated with The Rock overshadowing them and feel like it's the Vince McMahon era. Dave Meltzer says, and I quote, "One person noted that there was a feeling that the era of Vince McMahon's double standards for his hand-picked stars getting over is back. Then The Rock shows up and it's exactly the same. The Rock finally had enough of the absurdity and decided to squash the BS report, saying simply, and I quote, "This story is complete horseshit." Of course, this comes off the heels of former WWE writer and current head of TV development for The Rock's Seven Bucks Productions, Brian Gerwitz, completely shooting down reports that The Rock's last appearance on SmackDown went over the allotted time and took away from other talent segments. Gerwitz clarifying, and I quote, "The segment went 30 seconds under the allotted 20 minutes. So he's stating he gave Triple H 30 seconds back. It is clear since Rock returned that the wrestling media and talking heads have ran with this wild narrative that The Rock is this evil villain who returned to destroy WWE, painting this picture of an egotistical, overbearing, selfish boss bullying his way through the company to reclaim dominance atop all the little people." To which The Rock and Brian are simply saying, "Shut up, Cody Crybabies." Oh, it's ever so funny, this all of a sudden hate on Dwayne Johnson, and how The Rock and Brian Gerwitz have just had enough, and they're just going to start shooting down every false report one by one. Moving on. Alexa Bliss is staging her comeback just a week ago, responding to fans asking if she will be returning to WWE. She confirmed her comeback, and in the days since, she has heavily been reacting to Bray Wyatt's doc, which is debuting April 1st. Now she is back in the gym. Recent photos showing Lexi shedding the mom bod and getting ring shape ready. She was working out with husband Ryan Cabrera and a friend, and she was crushing it. So clearly there's a goal behind this workout. Interestingly enough, right after Paul Levesque McMahon announced this year's SummerSlam will be emanating from the Cleveland Browns Stadium, from Cleveland, Ohio, Bliss quickly responded, "OH." This, of course, the chant popular in Ohio sports, Bliss being from Columbus, Ohio, just a 2-hour drive to Cleveland. So it's a safe bet to place that Bliss is SummerSlam bound. Jake Roberts has re-signed with AEW. Roberts stating, and I quote, "Well, folks, just to let you know, you're going to be looking at me on AEW for another year." That's right, they re-signed me, so that's great news. I'm looking forward to it. Interestingly, he's looking to be a lot more creative with this next run. In fact, Roberts wants to bring back the Snake Pit. Yes! Roberts recently stated, and I quote, "Crossing my fingers, that would be something if we started the Snake Pit back up. Listen, I'd love to talk to Tony about that. I'm damn sure gonna pitch it." I hope so. The believability when Jake speaks is second to none. Even at his age, he can help propel these kids' stories. And just to have him backstage for the talent, a wealth of knowledge is an understatement. Moving on. Drew McIntyre continues his savage onslaught on Sethington Rollins and CM Punk, mind you. But for Seth Rollins, recently Drew McIntyre posting a clip of The Simpsons where Bart Simpson is playing 3 games of chess at the same time, and he simultaneously loses all 3. And the caption reads, "Seth feuding with Roman, Rock, and I at the same time." And again, Bart loses all 3 at the same time. And when he loses, it's hilarious. Bart just goes, "Darn." So Drew McIntyre, I mean, this dude has just been on lately. He's finally figured out how to use his social and really propel his own character, even if the WWE machine is not going to do it, or not do it correctly, I should say. So Drew McIntyre, props to him. Between him and The Rock, it's really 2 of the only wrestlers today that are really utilizing themselves, not when the camera is on for the TV shows, but outside the ring. They're propelling their characters. That's a lost art. There's several others that do that, but they're kind of few and far in between. MJF is one of them, but he's been on hiatus for a while with his injury and time off. And Bray Wyatt, of course, unfortunately, we lost. But Bray Wyatt was one of those dudes that just utilized his character nearly 24/7. MJF, a good example of that. And we just don't have enough of these wrestlers doing that. So even on their own time, they're selling these Mania matches and their feuds. Much respect over to Drew McIntyre. Too funny, man. The stink face heard round the world. Yeah, at a live event in Springfield, Illinois, Rhea Ripley tapped into her inner Rikishi and took a page out of Nia Jax's book, delivering a thunderous stink face for the ages on Jax. This thing rocked the wrestling world in hours. No joke, it was everywhere. Fans proclaiming their willingness to trade places with Jax. Nia's response after her viral weekend was good. "So anything cool happened to anyone this weekend? I went grocery shopping." But Buddy Matthews had a much better response even. Buddy Matthews, of course, Rhea's other half. The best response, stating, and I quote, "Weekly occurrence for me." TMI, maybe, but hey, no player hating. Get 'em, boy! Much props over to Buddy. Nia's response immediately after the stink face was probably the best, though. It was complete gold. She gets the stink face, then immediately looks to the camera left of her with the face like, did that seriously just happen? Too funny. And finally, to end this upload, one WWE superstar is about to get a mega rocket strapped to him, and WWE is ready to put the full machine behind him. Internal word is Levesque McMahon is, quote, incredibly high on current U.S. champion Logan Paul. Paul's fascination with Paul has been evident from day one. In fact, Paul's current deal was fully facilitated by Triple H, and the idea to make Logan's sports drink the in-ring sponsor of WWE was orchestrated by both Pauls. Now word is once Logan drops the U.S. title, he will be catapulted to much bigger things within the company. Now, this is one of those deals, too, where we've been hearing for the longest time that Paul Levesque McMahon is enamored with the Paul brothers. Now, that includes, obviously, Jake Paul. So it's not just Logan. Word around the campfire is, for some reason, Paul Levesque McMahon is enamored by these two. So don't be shocked if down the line Jake Paul gets a massive run in WWE. I think, especially with the Tyson fight coming up, that's only going to make Paul Levesque McMahon want to get his hands on Jake Paul more to bring him into the fold. But word going around is Paul Levesque McMahon is enamored by both Paul brothers. So now the question is, once he drops the U.S. title, then he's going to get the real rocket. What does that mean? What's the end game, right? He's already taken on Roman and lost. Is this the rematch? Is Logan Paul going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns? Is that the right call? We still do believe that Roman will be leaving 40 in Philadelphia still the champion. Paul Levesque McMahon does want Roman Reigns to take Hulk Hogan's record. They've already pretty much chucked Bob Backlund to the side. Hulk Hogan is next up, and then Levesque McMahon can concentrate on his prized possession Roman Reigns and his childhood hero Bruno Sammartino. That's the discussion that HHH really wants, and he's one person away from doing that. So it does look like Cody will be getting screwed, in quotes I'll put, at Mania 40, whether Seth does that or he really skyrockets something with The Rock. We do, or at least it still looks like Roman is walking out with that title. And if they're really going to put the biggest rocket ever on Logan Paul, is he the one to take that title from Roman? A lot of questions, but this U.S. title, this was only the appetizer. It looks like the main dish is coming up. Once he drops the title, that's when you're really going to see a rocket strapped to Logan Paul. I know that's going to be good news for a lot of you guys, and for a lot of you guys, you're going to be like, of all people, Logan, seriously? But that looks to be the case. That's it for now, guys. Again, 12 days away from WrestleMania. There'll be a lot more news and top stories dished out over the next 2 weeks, and we will have them all for you on this channel. Hope to be live with you later this evening for the preview for Monday Night Raw. Looks to be a big night in Chicago. Unfortunately, a lot of matches already announced, and usually when that happens, you kind of get a trend of lazy booking. We'll talk all about Raw, though. That'll be later on the channel, hopefully live. All right, until next time, and there will be that next time. Top guys, we're out. BC and his amplified unit saying check you. Peace.